scoundrels must go. All 13 scoundrels must go. All 13 scoundrels must go.
I just want to remind us that we are in the city of East Cleveland, Ohio, and that these 13 scoundrels came from Cleveland into East Cleveland with no respect for boundaries or sovereignty to our city. I know that I consciously moved into East Cleveland. It was a conscious choice my wife and I made that we would live in East Cleveland rather than Cleveland because of all the things that go on in Cleveland. I find East Cleveland to be better to this day. The police department in East Cleveland haven't shot someone to death in 9 years. East Cleveland is a safer place for anybody looking at it from this perspective. I just want us to be aware that, you know, if the Parma police drove into Strongsville and murdered 2 people in a schoolyard, it would be a whole different, it wouldn't be no year waiting, or 3 years actually, waiting on a decision, or 3 years of those police officers just free to do it again, or keeping their jobs. But that's what we have, and that's what I wanted to say. Thank you all.
Thank you, bro. Again, all 13 scoundrels must go. All 13 scoundrels must go. All 13 scoundrels must go.
Go to hell, that's where they must go.
We have these flags for peace. I stand here not only as a preacher and a presidential candidate for 2016 of the United States of America, because I don't like what we get in leadership, but he touched on something very sincere about jurisdictional boundaries. This matter is very, very intrusive from the mere fact that, not only that factor, that 13 white people gunned down 2 black people, worse than unarmed victims, worse than they would have done Godzilla in a movie. But they made a statement in a predominantly black community saying, not only will I kill you, but I will kill your children and your children's children. On a schoolyard. See, any preacher or any leader that keeps their mouth closed on this, you need to sit down, disrobe yourself, and take a quick introspective look at yourself. That's right. We did not put you in these positions for this to take place, and it should have never happened under any leadership in the United States of America, in the city of Cleveland, or in the city of East Cleveland. It is an embarrassment. America's supposed to be the land of the free and the home of the brave, representing everything that's supposed to represent justice. I'm embarrassed as a mother. I'm embarrassed as a woman. I'm embarrassed as a preacher of the gospel of Jesus Christ. I'm embarrassed as an educator. I'm embarrassed as a retired probation officer. This is more than an atrocity, Mr. Friedman, because your wife grew up with my parents, and they would have never allowed me to promote or be a part of this overt racism, this murder, this religious propaganda, and this political poor politics. When I leave here today, I can't even stay for this because I need to go check on my children and my children's children, because we're still not receiving justice as African Americans, as multiracial Americans, and this racism must cease. It must desist. How dare you use a school for something like this? How dare you say to these children and this community that they cannot be safe under the watch of this leadership? I don't care if you're a preacher. I don't care if you're a politician. I don't care if you're a doctor. I don't care if you're media. I don't care who you are. Don't you let this go uncovered. Right on. Yeah. Right on, Reverend. Right on. God bless you.
I only have one thing to say. This only happened because the victims were black. The results have only happened because the victims were black. The so-called experts, the prosecutor, the courts, from Melissa and Timothy to Tamir Rice, to all the names I can't recall at the moment, there's been too many. There's been only one case where the policeman's been held accountable, but the appeals aren't done yet, and that doesn't mean he'll lose his job. This only happened because the victims were black. We have to reach out and stop the courts from acting like the Ku Klux Klan.
Right on, right on. All 13 scoundrels must go. All 13 scoundrels must go. All 13 scoundrels must go.
When this happened, we called that a lynching. That these cars chased these two unarmed black people and didn't hang them, but this is what you have today. Over 1,000 people have been killed by the police this year so far. It's a lynching and it's systemic, meaning it's not just systemic that they all do it, it's systemic because it's part of a white supremacy system of capitalism, imperialism that exists. You can't get rid of it unless you make revolution. We need to fight police murder of black and brown people, native people. We need to be in the streets. We need to create disorder for when that verdict comes down on Tamir Rice and any other proceeding we have for these 13. Because they set that up when they had Braylow be the one they went after because they knew they couldn't prove that he killed them. They were probably already killed by the other 12. I think what we have to look at, we have to actually fight the power, but we also have to transform the people for revolution. We have to get rid of the system. Otherwise, we don't want our kids to be doing the same thing 50 years from now, but that's what will happen. Bob Avakian, the leader of this revolution and the leader of the Revolutionary Communist Party, wrote, the role of the police is not to serve and protect the people. It's not to serve and protect the system that rules over the people. To enforce the relations of exploitation and oppression, the conditions of poverty, misery, degradation into which the system has cast people and is determined to keep people in. The law and order the police are about, with all their brutality and murder, is the law and order that enforces all the oppression and madness. Because when they shot them, they were enforcing white supremacy in this society. Tamir Rice, there was a white boy out in Brecksville or somewhere had a toy gun, and what they say to him? Let me talk to your mother. With Tamir Rice, he was not killed because of a toy gun. He was killed because he was black. And just like Judy was saying, the same thing here. It's to institutionalize and enforce at the barrel of a gun that their white supremacy will continue under this system of capitalism and imperialism. Check out Bob Avakian. Check out the Revolutionary Communist Party. My name is Bill. Thank you. And we're also starting a group, StopMassIncarceration.net. So people that are interested, talk to me. Thank you.
Again, all 13 scoundrels must go. All 13 scoundrels must go. All 13 scoundrels must go. All 13 scoundrels must go.
Forever.
In the name of God, most gracious, most merciful, we will never have justice until we become to understand and know thyself. We have been labeled as Negroes, colored, black, African American by the slave masters. They never want us to know who we are. That's why we've been targeted. We are the best, most blessed people on this planet. They all came from our ancestors. It's Asiatic. I'm here to let you know that ain't nothing going to be happening with this system, which is just a system as it is. We can forget that. It's about a movement. We the people. It's about a movement. And when you bring on a movement, all hell raises. all hell raises. It got to be a movement. So the movement could be the mere fact that I know that I'm not no Negro, I know I'm not black, I know I'm not African American. You know who I am. How come that wasn't in our education academics? How come we didn't learn that? How come that wasn't taught? Talk about your history, but not our history. So it's a lot of things that's been untold. We've been lied to, injustice. But I don't want to carry on no longer, but I'd like for you to write this information down or remember it. SOVCPR.com. That's SOVCPR.com. And there you will hear Dr. Henderson and Chevy Bowling among a committee that brought 197 countries together. Brought 197 countries together. It's a movement. It's going to be a new day, and it's happening now. If you understand your book, the Revelation, it's all being said. It's happening right before our eyes. But they're in the control of the media. So things you ain't gonna learn or you ain't gonna know about or hear about. So I rest my case. Please check that information out. Go through it because it's redemption. And that's the lead as to identify who you are and relieve you from being a straw man and a straw woman. That's the information that is here, is being given to you. It will relieve you from being a straw man and a straw woman because you ain't got nothing coming up under those headquarters. Peace and love.
You shall not forget.
Again, all 13 scoundrels must go. All 13 scoundrels must go. All 13 scoundrels must go. I now want to introduce to you a member of the Russell family who will speak next. I want to now introduce to you Brother David Russell.